I'm Diane Tometa. I'm going to be making an American classic beef stew. This is a traditional stew of beef and vegetables cooked till they're fork tender and perfect. I hope that you enjoy it too, and let me just take you over the ingredients and we can get started. Potatoes, carrots, stew beef, and I have some beef that's been cut into 1-inch cubes, some celery, onions, flour, beef cubes, a bay leaf, some browning sauce, some Marsala or sherry wine, salt, pepper, and olive oil. You'll also need some hot water. I have a Dutch oven, which is a large pot, heating on the stove over medium-high heat. So I'm going to go over there and we're going to get started on the first step. The pan is heated and I'm just putting some olive oil in. And now I'm going to put my beef in. So what we're doing here is we just want to sear the meat. I'm going to get that brown and I'll show you what that looks like when it's done and we'll go to the next step. The meat has been cooking about 7 minutes and it's nice and brown, and what you're going to do now is take the hot water and you're going to add that to the meat. Make sure your water is hot. You don't want to lower the temperature of the meat. And we're going to add in 1 bouillon cube and a bay leaf and a little bit of salt and some pepper to taste. We're going to give this a stir around, turn the heat up to bring it to a boil, and then once this comes to a boil, I'm going to cover it, reduce the heat to medium-low, and let this cook for about 2 hours. A little more, a little less, and that depends on how tender your meat is. So you want it to be almost fork tender, so you don't want it to fall apart because you still have to cook your vegetables in here. So I took the carrots and I peeled them and I cut them into small pieces, and I did the same with the potatoes. And now what I'm going to do is take the onion and the celery, and I have my little mini food processor here, and I'm going to put them in there and pulverize them. Now I'm just putting in those beef cubes and the wine. Now if you don't want to use wine, you can put a little Worcestershire sauce, just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon or something like that. And we're going to put a little bit of salt in and a little bit of browning sauce. This just deepens the color, has a little bit of flavor to it, not much. And then the pulverized vegetables. Then all of our other veggies, and we're going to turn the heat up now because we want this to cook for about another 30 minutes or so. So you just want to give this a stir, and if it looks like it needs a little bit more liquid, then add in some hot water. I'm going to put some pepper in here. And if you think you need a little more browning sauce, then go ahead and add that in. Whoops. But I'm going to let this come up to a boil, and then I'm going to put the lid on and lower the heat to medium and let it cook for about 30 minutes. And then there is one more step before we get to eat. So I'll show you what that is. Alright, now this is what it looks like after 30 minutes. Everything is well cooked and I'm getting ready to thicken the sauce up. So I'm just taking the flour and I'm going to mix that in with some water, and we're creating what's called a slurry. So you just want to mix this together with your fork. Put a little in. And just keep stirring it. And then once you get the desired amount in there, just cook it for about another 10 minutes or so. You just kind of want to cook that raw flour taste out.